Anatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sadhanatam Sadhana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Sadhutam Parijayam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Radha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikanta Radhakanta Namusate Tapta Kanchan Rurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrindavan Sute Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakarvari Vishya Sinasimundya Evasha Patitam Pavindyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Whatever way, no problem.
Sorry to interrupt.
Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Acharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vajradi Shatayine. Alright, Srimad Bhagavatam. So we've been now Vidura has just returned. He was just enlightened by Maitreya Rishi. The subject matter of that enlightenment will be found in the third canto of the Bhagavatam and the fourth canto. Very, very powerful portion of the Bhagavatam. But now Vidura will be but now Vidura will be enlightening Dhritarashtra and teaching him how to close out his life properly. Because sometimes, many times, most times, in the material world, we can get so caught up in the temporary relationships, husband, wife, children, friendships, job, career, this thing, that thing, and the other thing, and actually we lose the whole essence of life, which is to make spiritual advancement. So Dhritarashtra had almost all but forgotten, due to his offenses and due to so many things, the actual point of life, even though he was taught these things and spoken by Vidura had given him this advice before, but now he's supercharged and he's ready. I have to go back and deliver my brother. That's his mission. At least he's going to try. So that's where we're at. And we're talking about Vidura's pastime as he was actually Yamaraj in a previous existence. He got cursed to be a Shudra, and now he's playing out the role of a Shudra. But even though he is seemingly a Shudra, he's the most elevated of his whole family, actually. So we should be very conscious. A great example in Chaitanya Leela is Haridas Thakur. He was born in a Muslim family that could be considered lower than a Shudra. But actually he was Prahlad Maharaj / an incarnation of Brahma in a past life, and he had come here to actually associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and become the Namacharya. So we have to be very even a lot of times like for instance in Jagannath Puri, they don't let Westerners into the temple. You will not get in. No chance actually. But Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, they kept inviting him, come, please, give lecture here, things like that. He said, I will not go. because you are rejecting. Jagannath is Jaga, is the universe, and Nath is the Lord. He's Lord of the universe, and yet you're not letting my disciples in because they're in a Western body. So it's like this. But the Bhagavatam actually makes it very clear. It's cast by qualification, not by birth. But you still observe etiquettes. Like even all 4 of our 5 acharyas actually have a Brahmin birth, except Gorakishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who's born a Vaishya. But if you hear from Bhaktisiddhanta, who is easily the most, of all the acharyas on the altar, he is the most brilliantly articulated by the academic standards of the Western world. He accepts wholeheartedly that Gorakishore Das Babaji is his Guru Padapadma. He's that is the one who eradicates my ignorance, and I am just a lowly servant at his feet. And so anyway, these are some things. But Vidura now is being accepted as the one bestowing transcendental knowledge, and let's hear it. So we're kind of setting the scene. Text 16.
What chapter is it?
1, Canto 1, 13, and then text 16. Yudhishthiro labdha rajyo Drishtva potram kulandaram. No, thank you. Bhratrabhir lokapalabher Mumudhe parayashriya. Yudhishthir, labdha rajya, possessing his paternal kingdom. Drishtva, by seeing. Potram, the grandson. Kulamdaram, just suitable for the dynasty. Bhratrabhi, by the brothers. Lokapalabhai, who are all expert administrators. Mumudhe, enjoyed life. Paraya, uncommon. Shriya, opulence. Having won his kingdom and observed the birth of one grandson competent to continue the noble tradition of his family, Maharaj Yudhishthira reigned peacefully and enjoyed uncommon opulence in cooperation with his younger brothers, who were all expert administrators to the common people. Purport. Both Maharaj Yudhishthira and Arjuna were unhappy from the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra, but even though they were unwilling to kill their own men in the fight, it had to be done as a matter of duty, for it was planned by the supreme will of Lord Sri Krishna. After the battle, Maharaj Yudhishthira was unhappy over such mass killings. Practically, there was none to continue the Kuru dynasty after them, the Pandavas. The only remaining hope was the child in the womb of his daughter-in-law Uttara, and he was also attacked by Ashvatthama. But by the grace of the Lord, the child was saved. So after the settlement of all the disturbing conditions and re-establishment of the peaceful order of the state, and after seeing the surviving child, Parikit, well satisfied, Maharaj Yudhishthira felt some relief as a human being, although he had very little attraction for material happiness, which is always illusory and temporary. So Maharaj Yudhishthira had done exactly his duty. We all have like a certain duty. You guys go to work, you have some tasks to do in the day, and then by the end of the day, if you accomplish your tasks, you feel relief. I've done it. So Maharaj Yudhishthira, to be king, there's so many tasks that had to be done, to have a proper heir, to have everything running smoothly, and everything was done. His brothers were qualified, his grandson is now qualified, and now he's feeling relief, which actually also means now that he can work on to the next duty. Even, on a small level, here at Mantra Central, over the years, in the beginning, me and my wife were doing so many things. My wife was doing so many things. Like, it was crazy now. Like, my wife is so much not in the things because she's doing different duty now with the baby. But she was doing so many things. But, after some time, we inviting more students and we get bringing more people. Someone like Madhav shows up, someone like Ben shows up, and Rishi, and all the boys start showing up. Adya now, Meghna, so many people. And then all of a sudden, so many things are happening, and like we're feeling relief, and like and now we can think, well, how can we better do our duties? Now there's some project in Auburn, we can potentially work on Ithaca. So many things can happen now, but this is what Maharaj Yudhishthira is feeling. But he's at the end of his life, so he has a different set of duty than say like me or you guys in the youth of life. So we're going to kind of see how that goes. I don't know if we'll get to it, but you're going to see the Pandavas, everyone. This is like the saddest few chapters in the Bhagavatam. This is just first canto. It's just like brutal, just like watching. Because naturally we're very attached to this world, and when we watch others leave this world, we're like, no. At least myself, maybe. But anyhow, we'll see. Evam griheshu shaktanam pramattanang tarihaya atyakramara vigyata kalaparamadu Evam, thus, griheshu, in the family affairs, saktanam, of persons who are too attached, pramatanam, insanely attached. Wow. Tat ihaya, engrossed in such thoughts. Atyakrama, surpassed. Avigyata, imperceptibly. Kala, eternal time. Parama, supremely. Dustaraha, insurmountable. Insurmountable. Eternal time imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thought. This is most people that you know. So this is the destination. Prabhupada is saying, purport, I am now happy. I have everything in order. My bank balance is quite enough. I can now give my children enough estate. I am now successful. The poor beggars sannyasis depend on God, but they come to beg from me. Therefore, I am more than the Supreme God. These are some of the thoughts which engross the insanely attached householder, who is blind to the passing of eternal time. Our duration of life is measured, and no one is able to enhance it, even by a second, against the scheduled time ordained by the Supreme Will. Such valuable time, especially for the human being, should be cautiously spent, because even a second passed away imperceptibly cannot be replaced, even in exchange for thousands of golden coins amassed by hard labor. Every second of human life is meant for making an ultimate solution to the problems of life. The repetition of birth and death and revolving in the cycle of 8.4 million species, different species of life. The material body, which is subject to birth and death, diseases and old age, is the cause of all sufferings of the living being. Otherwise, the living being is eternal. He is never born, nor does he ever die. Foolish persons forget this problem. They do not know at all how to solve the problems of life, but become engrossed in temporary family affairs, not knowing that eternal time is passing away imperceptibly, and that their measured duration of life is diminishing every second, without any solution to the big problem, namely repetition of birth and death, disease and old age. This is called illusion. But such illusion cannot work on one who is awake in the devotional service of the Lord. Yudhishthira Maharaj and his brothers, the Pandavas, were all engaged in the service of the Lord Krishna, and they had very little attraction for the illusory happiness of this material world. As we have discussed previously, Maharaj Yudhishthira was fixed in the service of the Lord Mukunda, the Lord who can award salvation, and therefore he had no attraction, even for such comforts of life as are available in the kingdom of heaven, because even the happiness obtained on the planet Brahmaloka is also temporary and illusory. He's the king of the world. He's like everything. All the wealth, everything is there. All the estate, the children are taken care of. Well, I mean, actually they're dead, but his grandson is there, his heir is there. But anyway, everything is, is satisfactory, but he's not attracted to this state of life, actually. Why? Because he knows the Vedas so well that it's all temporary and illusory. Because the living being is eternal, he can be happy only in the eternal abode of the kingdom of God, Praravyoma, from which no one returns to this region of repeated birth and death, disease and old age. Therefore, any comfort of life or any material happiness which does not warrant an eternal life is but illusion for the eternal living being. One who understands... What's that?
It's a really powerful sentence.
I'll read it again then. Oh, it's a long one. Therefore, any comfort of life or any material happiness which does not warrant an eternal life is but illusion for the eternal living being. One who understands this factually is learned, and such a learned person can sacrifice any amount of material happiness to achieve the desired goal known as Brahma Sukham, or absolute happiness. Real transcendentalists are hungry for this happiness, and as a hungry man cannot be made happy by all comforts of life minus foodstuff, so the man hungry for eternal absolute happiness cannot be satisfied by any amount of material happiness. Therefore, the instruction described in this verse cannot be applied to Maharaj Yudhishthira or his brothers and mother. It was meant for persons like Dhritarashtra, for whom Vidura came especially to impart lessons. It's also meant for us, because this is our tendency. Insurmountable eternal time imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thought. This is very, you probably know if you're, at least like me, you might see your parents, you might see your grandparents, your relatives, and just see, what they're focusing on, and like, wow, this is so much in the family affairs. What's going to happen? Who is my son going to get married to? Who's this, what's this going to happen? I want them to just get a nice job. My mom's been waiting on a job for me for many years now. It's probably not going to happen. But this is, what they're not realizing is that time is ticking and there's no stopping it. And it's imperceptible to them because they're too much engrossed. They're absorbed. They're in tunnel vision. Did you ever really focus on something and then just something comes out of nowhere and just whack or something like that? They're so focused on this thing, this temporary thing, and there's a sneak attack from behind via time. So this is the unfortunate. Actually, Krishna speaks in Uddhav Gita, a very nice verse. It goes, Labdva sudorlambam vidam bahusambhavante manusyamarthadam anitya apihadiraha turnam yateta napated anumrityu yavan nishreyasaya vishaya kalusarvatasya. And what that means is, we've obtained that which is rare, so sudurlabam. It's so rare to obtain this human form of life. And it's also not easy. So many, but somehow we've easily attained it. We didn't really, I don't remember all the efforts I made to get this human life, but we have this thing, and it's arthadam. It's like of the topmost value, but it's anitya. It's temporary. And what do we do instead? The great danger is that we focus on vishaya, which is sense gratification. Like, oh, these senses, this feels good in this body. And then we focus on all these things, not understanding the real value, the real wealth that we have. And then boom, we've wasted it. Who knows? Especially how most people are wasting. 99% of people, they will have to go down again. Because there's practically any spiritual advancement, they will lose it. And then there's a huge cycle of species that they have to go through and different. And it's, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. You might have seen this in your life. I remember I left Krishna consciousness for some time. It was only like a month, but I left for like a month. And I, just got into all kinds of crazy stuff, video games again. I started doing some intoxications again and, chasing ladies again and all these things. And somehow or other, I got pulled to my Guru Maharaj's house by Keshava Gopal, actually. And just seeing the devotees again there, and they're happy and they're chanting and they're speaking about transcendental knowledge and all these things. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why have I wasted all this time? And it's 1 month I wasted and I'm feeling like this. But imagine now you have to waste millions of years. Because why? We didn't do Nishreyasaya, which is look for the ultimate perfection of life. This is what Vidura is going to remind Dhritarashtra of. Because Dhritarashtra got so engrossed in all these family intrigues, trying to get his sons to the position that he wanted or they wanted, trying to overcome all the obstacles in their way, even in sinful ways, at the sake of breaking dharma, even murdering one's own nephews. So many things they were trying to do. But, if we get too intoxicated by chasing our material dreams, there's no amount of sins that we won't commit. We'll do so many things. We'll make so many offenses. I say this all the time. Maybe, I don't know. I've done it so many times. I've made offenses. I remember when I met my wife, because I was a young boy and I didn't have, such good, control of myself. I see my wife, she's very beautiful, and next thing you know, I'm very captivated, and wherever my wife is, I want to be. And I was working with devotees at the time. Mayapur Chandra, you met him? Remember, you guys? Tulsi Das, and Mayapur Chandra and the gang. And luckily, they're very merciful devotees. because I just started making so many offenses because I would neglect all of the my proper Krishna conscious duties and my obligations to them in the workplace and so many things because I'm so engrossed in how beautiful I thought my wife was. So this luckily by Krishna's mercy I was rectified and I was chastised severely, not by them but by Krishna himself via my life. And then I realized, oh, okay. And now luckily we have sweet relationships. They love me and I love them. But I now know, okay, don't do this again. So like this, we have to be very careful. So Dhritarashtra actually did that. He knew all the Vedas. He had so much good counsel. He had Sanjaya, he had Vidura, he had Bhishma, he had Drona. He had so much good counsel. But then, he's seeing he's not even seeing because he's blind, but he's experiencing the fruits of material happiness via his son, and he wants to, but his son is so wicked. But he just wants to please his son and his offspring, and there's so much false ego around that. And look at the sinful things that were done. Look what was done to Draupadi. Look what was done with Yudhisthira in the gambling match and the cheating and so many things. The killing, trying to light them on fire, like crazy things. What won't someone do to pursue their lusts? You'll see it. So many horrible things. And I know myself, I'm personally ashamed of so many of the things I did chasing my lusts. But anyway, let's move on. Vidurastara bipretya Dhritarashtram abhashata Rajan nirgamyatang shigrang Pashedang bayam agatam. Vidura, Mahatma Vidura, Tat, that, Abhipretya, knowing it well. Dhritarashtram, unto Dhritarashtra, Abhashata, said, Rajan, O king, Nirgam Yatam, please get out immediately. Shigram, without the least delay. Pashya, just see. Idam, this. Bayam, fear. Agatam, already arrived. Mahatma Vidura knew all this, and therefore he addressed Dhritarashtra, saying, My dear king, please get out of here immediately. Do not delay. Just see how fear has overtaken you. Purport. It's another really nice verse. Krishna talks in Uddhava Gita about fear, how it comes. Cruel death cares for no one, be he Dhritarashtra or even Maharaj Yudhishthira. Therefore, spiritual instruction, as was given to old Dhritarashtra, was equally applicable to younger Maharaj Yudhishthira. As a matter of fact, everyone in the royal palace, including the king and his brothers and mother, was rapidly attending the lectures. But it was known to Vidura that his instructions were especially meant for Dhritarashtra, who was too materialistic. The word Rajan is especially addressed to Dhritarashtra, significantly. Dhritarashtra was the eldest son of his father, and therefore, according to law, he was to be installed on the throne of Hastinapur. But because he was blind from birth, he was disqualified from his rightful claim. But he could not forget the bereavement, and his disappointment was somewhat compensated after the death of Pandu, his younger brother. His younger brother left behind him some minor children, and Dhritarashtra became the natural guardian of them. But at heart he wanted to become the factual king and hand the kingdom over to his own sons, headed by Duryodhana. With all these imperial ambitions, Dhritarashtra wanted to become a king, and he contrived all sorts of intrigues and consultation with his brother-in-law Shakuni. But everything failed by the will of the Lord, and at the last stage, even after losing everything, men and money, he wanted to remain as king, being the eldest uncle of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Maharaj Yudhishthira, as a matter of duty, maintained Dhritarashtra in royal honor, and Dhritarashtra was happily passing away his numbered days in the illusion of being a king or the royal uncle of King Yudhishthira. Imagine, this person you tried to kill your whole life, for much of your life, ends up killing all of your sons, but now you're like he's like kind of giving you your position in the world. That has to be so painful, actually. Vidura, as a saint and as the duty-bound, affectionate youngest brother of Dhritarashtra, wanted to awaken Dhritarashtra from his slumber of disease and old age. Vidura therefore sarcastically addressed Dhritarashtra as the king, which he was actually not. Everyone is the servant of eternal time, and therefore no one can be king in this material world. King means the person who can order. The celebrated English king wanted to order time and tide, but the time and tide refused to obey his order. Therefore, one is a false king in the material world, and Dhritarashtra was particularly reminded of this false position and of the factual fearful happenings which had already approached him at that time. Vidura asked him to get out immediately, if he wanted to be saved from the fearful situation which was approaching him fast. He did not ask Maharaj Yudhishthira in that way because he knew that a king like Maharaj Yudhishthira is aware of all the fearful situations of this flimsy world and would take care of himself in due course, even though Vidura might not be present at that time. So there's a couple things here, but one of the big subject matter is how fearful this situation is. And actually there's a Uddhav in the Uddhav Gita receives instruction from Krishna again on fear. You might have heard it before. Bhayam dvitiya biniveshatasya ishadapitasya viparyayo smriti tanmaya yato buddha abhajetam bhaktyaya kayesham gurudeva tatma. So bhayam, fear, bhayam dvitiya biniveshata. When you're absorbed in dualism, meaning when you're absorbed in anything other than the one, who is the one, it's Krishna. When you're absorbed in anything other than your Ishtadev, which is the Supreme Lord, then fear will arise. Fear arises when anything you focus on, anything else other than the Supreme Lord, fear will come. That's the result. Why? Ishad apetasya viparyo smriti. Isha, the Supreme Lord, apetasya. You've turned away. The Supreme Lord's here, like the bird in the heart, this example in the Upanishads. Right? The bird in the heart, he's sitting here watching, but you're looking at all the fruits over here. Ooh, and they're very bitter. And you try over here. And then you keep going like this. Apetasya, you've turned away. Viparyo, why? Because you've misidentified who you actually are. You're thinking, I'm this body, I'm in this family, this is my dharma, this is my duty. And next thing you know, you get very attached to doing so many things, and you get very detached from doing anything related to the Lord. So, and why? Asmriti. You've forgotten who you really are. You're a spirit soul. You're part and parcel of the Lord, and the whole point of life is to serve the Lord. But you've done something else. Why? Tanmay. His Maya. Tanmaya. Not Tanmay. Tanmaya. His Maya. Yato. Therefore. Tanmaya Yato. Tanmaya Yato. Buddha, the intelligent. Abhajet, should worship Tam, him, fully. How? Bhaktyayika yesham, with one pointed bhakti. How? Guru Deva Tatma, through the Guru, who is one's Lord and soul actually. The Guru is the external representation of how Krishna is going to bring you back. Here he is right now. Krishna is giving you. So this is how you remove fear, actually. And actually now, Guru has come to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is wallowing in fear. And then here, his well-wishing younger brother, who was always advising him his whole life, now has come. He gets completely enlightened, and now he is his Guru. And actually, Dhritarashtra heeds the call, so which is very nice. So, he says, do not delay, just see how fear has overtaken you. Get out of here immediately. We're so eager to get into family life, right? And he's like, get out of here immediately. We're so eager to get into family life. Trust me. I told you, I did so many things to get into family life. And now I'm here. So, but not that, we have the ticket out, but I have to now bring them all out with me. Very difficult. Very difficult thing I've done now. So, but anyhow, it can be okay if everyone gets on the trip out of here. But we'll see. Pratikriyana yasyeha kutaschit karhachit prabho sa esha bhagavan kalaha sarveshang na samagataha. Pratikriya, remedial measure. Na, there is none. Yasya, of which. Iha, in this material world. Kutaschit, by any means. Karhichit, or by anyone. Prabho, O my Lord. Sa, that. Esha, positively. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Kala, eternal time. Sarvesham, of all. Naha, of us. Samagata, arrived. This frightful situation cannot be remedied by any person in this material world. My Lord, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as eternal time, Kala, that has approached us all. I wonder if he's going to, yes, we'll go to the Bhagavad Gita verse. Actually, there's another Bhagavad Gita verse also that Robert Oppenheimer quoted. He misquoted it, but he tried to quote this verse when the atomic bomb went off. And that's who Arjuna asks when he sees all of these facets of Krishna in the universe. Like, who are you? And what does he say? Time I am. That's me. I'm time. Who is this greatly fearful personality? And it's time. So, it's actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead as eternal time, Kala. There is no superior power which can check the cruel hands of death. No one wants to die, however acute the source of bodily sufferings may be. Even in the days of so-called scientific advancement of knowledge, there is no remedial measure, either for old age or for death. Old age is the notice of the arrival of death served by cruel time, and no one can refuse to accept either summon calls or the supreme judgment of eternal time. Like you get like a court, jury duty in the USA. You get like, oh, you have to go to court. But you just say like, no, I'm a racist or something like that, and then you don't have to go. Yes, actually, you can do like this. I've done it actually. Anyway, I just didn't want to go. What's that? Yeah, just tell him that he's a racist, and he won't be able to give like an unbiased thing, and then he doesn't have to go. Anyway, it's such a what? Yeah. Just do like that if you really want to just not waste your time. Anyway, but you can get out of it in this material world, but when death summons, you cannot get out. You cannot say, "Well, I'm a racist." So perfect. You have a special place just for you. So anyway. And no one can refuse to accept either summon calls or the supreme judgment of eternal time. This is explained before Dhritarashtra because he might ask Vidura to find out some remedial measure for the imminent fearful situation, as he had ordered many times before. Before ordering, however, Vidura informed Dhritarashtra that there was no remedial measure by anyone or from any source in this material world. And because there is no such thing in the material world, death is identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as it is said by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita 10:34. Let me see, what's this verse? Mrityu sarva harash chaham. I am all-devouring death. That's I am the generator of all things yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. I just wanted to see. So death cannot be checked by anyone or from any source within this material world. Hiranyakashipu wanted to be immortal and underwent a severe type of penance by which the whole universe trembled. And Brahma himself approached him to dissuade Hiranyakashipu from such a severe type of penance. Hiranyakashipu asked Brahma to award him the blessings of immortality. But Brahma said that he himself was subject to death, even in the topmost planet. So how could he award him the benediction of immortality? So there is death even in the topmost planet of this universe, and what to speak of other planets, which are far, far inferior in quality to Brahmaloka, the residing planet of Brahma. Wherever there is the influence of eternal time, there is this set of tribulations, namely birth, disease, old age, and death, and all of them are invincible. So there's no material solution to the material problems. The only solution is a spiritual solution. The only spiritual solution is the mercy sent via the Lord. There's many, many mercies sent to us via the Lord. The first and maybe easiest is the holy name. The holy name of the Lord is the Lord himself, mercifully sent to us. But we have to get out of our own material way. And how do we do that? He'll send, even when we're sincere, he'll send an even more merciful form via the Guru. And the Guru will instruct you how and give you personal lessons and advice how to get out. Different forms as well. There's the Diksha Guru, and then there's many Shiksha Gurus. You'll have many, many Shiksha Gurus in your life who can help you get out in different portions and times. I feel very fortunate. just in the past few years alone, there's been many people in my life, or I don't want to say people, they're transcendental personalities who've been acting as Shiksha Gurus in my life and helping me make so much advancement. On top of my Guru Maharaj, my Diksha Guru, who's also helping me make advancement. So Krishna is sending so many personalities, so many forms of mercy. And then on top of that, he sends other people who appear to be my juniors. But actually they help me, they help inspire me to be on better behavior and all these other things. And they help me see aspects of myself that are so much things I need to work on and so on. And so the Lord keeps sending. He's got infinite, actually the whole environment is favorable. That's what Advaita Gyan is. That's what understanding Advaita consciousness is. That's Advaita Acharya's representation in the Panchatattva is. The whole environment is actually favorable for your spiritual advancement. But Ishara Pitasya, we've turned away. We don't want to see. No. I don't want this fruit here, this temporary thing, I'm focusing on this. So anyhow, the punishments of birth, death, disease, and old age, they are invincible. So we'll do this last verse. Oh, Hare Krishna. Yena chaiva bipano yang pranay priyatamerapi jana sadyo viyuj yeta kimutanyer danadibhi yena, pulled by such time, cha, and, eva, certainly, abhipanaha, overtaken, ayam, this, pranay, with life, priyatamai, which is most dear to everyone, api, even though, jana, person, sadhya, forthwith, viyujeta, do give up, kim uta anyai, what to speak of any other thing, dana adibi, such as wealth, honor, children, land, and house. Whoever is under the influence of Supreme Kala, eternal time, must surrender his most dear life, and what to speak of other things such as wealth, honor, children, land, and home. Purport. A great Indian scientist, busy in the plan-making business, was suddenly called by invincible eternal time while going to attend a very important meeting of the Planning Commission. And he had to surrender his life, wife, children, house, land, wealth, etc. During the political upsurge in India and its division into Pakistan and Hindustan, so many rich and influential Indians had to surrender life, property, and honor due to the influence of time. And there are hundreds and thousands of examples like that all over the world, all over the universe, which are all effects of the influence of time. Therefore, the conclusion is that there is no powerful living being within the universe who can overcome the influence of time. Many poets have written verses lamenting the influence of time. Many devastations have taken place over the universes due to the influence of time, and no one could check them by any means. Even in our daily life, so many things come and go in which we have no hand, but we have to suffer or tolerate them without remedial measure. That is the result of time. So it has to all be ready to given up. And actually, you should voluntarily participate in the process. Voluntarily, you should go, and at least there are 5 limbs of devotional service that you should at least take. All right, every day I'll do this. These 5 limbs are Nam Sankirtan, chanting the holy name. Japa and Kirtan. You should do both every day. That's why the Mangal Arati is there. Archana, the deity worship. And it gives you opportunity for Nam Sankirtan. Every day we should do something in this regard. Bhagavat Shravan, hearing the Bhagavatam. Ideally, if you can hear from a more experienced devotee than yourself. It's nice, when all else fails, we can listen online and things like that. But unless you have a direct relationship with that person and you can really, put your questions to them and you're actively engaged in the process, it's very difficult. What happens is we put our own misinterpretations of everything, or we hear what we want to hear. And then next thing you know, we've concocted our own Krishna consciousness or something like this. So like this, Bhagavat Shravan, then Dham Seva. We should go to the local temple, we should go, maybe there's some local festival, maybe, Maybe even better, we go to the Dham itself. We can go to Vrindavan, we can go to Jagannath Puri, we can go to Navadvip Mayapur. Every year we can do these things. And then there's one more. Anyone know the one? Oh, Sadhu Sangha. Yes, most important. Come and be with those who know the truth. Associate with the Sadhu Sangha. Have friendships with the devotees. And not just devotees. Find a sadhu. Find someone very topmost. Very topmost. Associate with them. Get their association. Get to know them well. Find out how I can serve them. Ask them relevant questions. This is all in Bhagavad Gita, right? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. If you want this transcendental knowledge, the only way is upadekshanti. It has to be revealed to you by the sadhu. Only way. How? Pranipatena. Become very humble before them. Pariprashnena. Ask them many relevant questions. All to your heart's burns out of questions. And then seva. Perform seva for them. Please them. And then naturally, they're tattvadarshan, they can see the truth, and then they'll give you this. They're jnaninas, they have it. They'll give. They're merciful. So anyway, this is our process. We started a little earlier than we've been a little late lately, Craig, but actually today, with the Ben's edition and Rishi's coming to the ashram, we've been inspired. We got up a bit early today. So we started everything early, and now we're finishing early. Ben has come to the ashram. So Ben is your son's roommate.
Yeah.
Yes. And so this is very good. Your son only in this life. You'll have to be ready to give him up as your son. But you're ready. No problem.
Right back at you.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm more attached than you with this new one. So, yes, this is very, very good to meditate on. You guys please hold me accountable when I get so infatuated with this little child. Just keep reminding me, hey, get ready. No, it's very funny.
We had to be careful though. Like Arjuna, he was very distraught when his son died in the battle.
Yeah, it's natural. Even Krishna lamented when his nephew Abhimanyu died. But, those, when we know the higher truth, we can, like Chaitanya, there's the pastime of how Srivas Thakur lost his son. And there's a very nice pastime in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Yes. And Srivas Thakur, everyone wanted to, all the ladies were crying, but Srivas Thakur, he don't disturb Lord Chaitanya. We'll deal with this after. He's ecstatic in kirtan. And so then, whole pastime, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then reawakens the son, brings him back to life temporarily. And then the son, he gives like instructions like King Chitraketu got in the Bhagavatam. I'm only your son in this life, and so many things, giving so much tattva, that like, don't worry about me, let me go, I'm going to the personality of Godhead now. And like this. So actually, even Julius Caesar, he was the king of, one of the great conquerors of the world. But he had a special servant who his job, because what happens is when you're king of everything, you get very intoxicated with all your wealth, your power. But his one job is to just go behind him all the time and remind him, you're going to die someday. Yeah. So that's it. So, Ben, good luck on your...
I got a few minutes.
Okay. Well, we're ending right here. So, but yeah, just remember, time is washing away everything. What are you spending your energy on? Are you spending your energy on temporary things, or are you spending your energy on Nishrayasaya, the ultimate perfection of life? Easiest reminder: just come here Bhagavatam every day. If you come here Bhagavatam, you'll be reminded, and you won't forget. As soon as Bhagavatam slips away out of your life, then you'll forget. It's just inevitable. You're chanting, you'll do some chanting, but then what'll happen is you'll do Namaparad chanting, and then you'll just forget the whole existence of life anyway. So that's why we hear Bhagavatam. That's why we hear from sadhus. Get sadhu sangha as much as you can, and don't waste the human form of life. Very rare opportunity, very good opportunity for Nishrayasaya. Everyone else, they're committed towards Vishaya, but Sarvatasya, that's available in everyone's life. And in the ants, they get Vishaya, sense gratification. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, no problem. Ants can do it, pigs can do it, birds can do it. But human life, only Nishreyasaya is available for you. So, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So, Hare Krishna, Tulsidas, nice to see you. Adya, nice to see you. Rishi, nice to see you. And Craig, nice to see you. Ben, welcome to the ashram. And Madhav, thank you for being stalwart.
Parth and Kumari.
Interviewing a little bit, yeah.
What's that?
Parth is watching Kumari. Is watching
Oh, Parth, Hare Krishna, we're missing you, for sure. I can't wait till Parth is back. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you for